What are your thoughts on buying and selling a home in light of this recent settlement?
I don't buy them that often, as some people have noted, but I certainly would consider them. But I'd say the probability of that happening is low. And I really appreciate the fact you've joined up with us. But I'm going to, in terms of the settlement, I mean, Greg kept me informed, but I turned it over 100% to him. So, Greg, you want to talk about it?
Sure. There's no question the industry will go through some transitions because of that settlement. Ours and every other major player in the industry settled. The National Association of Realtors settled for more than $400 million. So effectively, everybody was swept up in that settlement. And it did set the grounds for both home services and for the industry to move forward. There's a lot of changes that happen or are being proposed associated with that settlement. But the one thing that I think you hopefully would absolutely agree with, the real estate agent is still an important part of these transactions. It's the one time in our lives where we make these massive investments, and having that counsel and guidance is critical, and that's really what our business and those other businesses rely on. How the commission structures change and how it's negotiated, which is really what the settlement was. It was no longer that a buyer would automatically pay a commission agent to the selling agent. That now has to be negotiated. That'll impact things, but I think the realtors will continue to be a very important part of that, and I think home services in the industry will remain very relevant. So, Warren, any other comments?
Well, yeah, I've sold 2 houses in the last 93 fraction years, and I've bought one that I still have, but I obviously bought the other 2. And I have not negotiated down the commission, even though the last one sold for $7 million or something like that. People do negotiate down commissions to some extent, but I can tell you, I've looked at the figures, and I think the system has really worked out very well. When I got out of school, they had what they called FSBO, with for sale by owner, and so I've been involved to some degree in watching the whole system operate, and I know what our average agent makes. I know how long they work on things sometimes that don't materialize. I mean, I don't think we'll end up with a better system, and but it's up to Greg and the people at Home Services how we work it through here. But I like our agency group, and we've got a very large number of real estate agents, and I've encouraged the expansion we've done in the real estate brokerage business. I think it's a very fundamental business. You need help. 90% of the people need help, in buying a home or selling one. And I've watched it operate all my life and been involved with lots of people who have been in the business. But there was a decision in court, and I told Greg to handle it whatever way seemed best to him. Yeah.
No, I think the only thing I would add back maybe to how the model has changed, and he asked one, yes, we'll always, I can't speak for Ajit, but we'll always use home services agents. But it's interesting, I have bought a home abroad because I lived over in the United Kingdom, in Newcastle, running our utility over there. And it is a completely different experience to buy a home outside of the U.S. Our agents take great responsibility for the whole transaction in the U.S. They put, as Warren said, time and capital at risk to ensure the transaction closes. And when you do close it, they make sure what you bought, what you thought you were purchasing, you end up with. And that's not the way it is always around the world. And there are more affordable models, but it's the old saying, you get what you pay for. So I think our real estate agents still provide incredible value within our business. And as Warren touched on it, it'll survive. The form may be a little bit different, but there's no question it'll continue to thrive.
Yeah, we still will want to buy real estate brokerages at the right price. And I hope we're bigger in the industry 10 years from now and 20 years from now than we are currently. And I did sell a house for $7 million. And I did not negotiate the 6% down, and I feel I got my money's worth and then some. And I'm cheap by nature, so it isn't I'm careless about it. I got my money's worth.